Hi everyone, Bernard here. Hope you're all staying safe and well, and welcome to my film and TV channel. And we have a film I've been putting off watching. I didn't really fancy it that much, but I try not to read too much about it. I thought, I'll give it a watch. It's been around for a little while. It's currently showing on Amazon at the moment, so I had a look at it. It's quite interesting, so I thought I'd share my thoughts and other people's thoughts with you on this film today. So I'm going to have a look at a film called Sound of Metal. Please, if you're new to this channel, push that subscribe button, push the bell notifications. Soon these little vlogs come out, try and inform and entertain, and obviously there's lots of different things: film reviews, drama reviews, information vlogs, what's out on DVD, what's coming to the cinema very soon, yay, as they reopen again here in the UK. So please check those playlists. And you also see some stuff on my football team, if that's of any interest, Manchester City. So I do City Pass, City Presents, lots of City stuff on there. So if you or anyone is interested in it, is interested in it, please point them in my direction. I will be very, very grateful. But it's film and TV today, or films anyway today. So please, I do loads of posts on films and stuff on Facebook and Twitter as well. So if you're after any followers or friends, just check the links on screen. I do check every 2 or 3 days and follow and friend everyone back on there. And if you've got any comments to make about Sound of Metal, it's quite an interesting film, quite an interesting subject as well. Just let me know. Comments on film and TV in general, just drop your comments. If you can't give us a comment today, just give us a little thumbs up. It's nice to get views, but it's just nice that you're there and you feel, if you get a thumbs up, it's more, at least I know you've watched it and quite liked what we tried to do. Right, Sound of Metal. Here we go. We'll talk about that. 15 rating, 2 hours, so it's got a runtime about an hour and 52, an hour and 53. As I said, it's an Amazon original, directed and co-written by Darius Marder, starring Riz Ahmed. Was shot in 24 days, not on the trot, but during the spring, summer and fall of 2018. Spring, summer and autumn for us British people. Marder operated on a limited budget and shot only 2 takes per scene. So there you go. The film was shot in Greater Boston area, primarily in Ipswich, Massachusetts. I know Ipswich in East Anglia. I don't know Ipswich, Massachusetts. I've never been there. And what's it about? Well, during a series of adrenaline-fueled one-night gigs, itinerant punk metal drummer Ruben, played by Riz Ahmed, begins to experience intermittent hearing loss when a specialist tells him his condition will rapidly worsen. He thinks his music career, and with it his life, is over. His bandmate and girlfriend Lou, played by Olivia Cooke — it's nice to see Olivia Cooke, I do like Olivia Cooke — checks a recovering heroin addict into a secluded sober house for the deaf, in the hopes it will prevent a relapse and help him learn to adapt to his new situation. After being welcomed into the community that accepts him just as he is, Ruben has to choose between his equilibrium and the drive to reclaim the life he once knew. Utilising startling, this is their words, not mine, innovative sound design techniques, director Darius Marder takes audiences inside Ruben's experience to vividly recreate his journey into a rarely examined world. So as well as Riz Ahmed and Olivia Cooke, it also stars Paul Rashi as Joe, a late deafened and recovering alcoholic who runs a shelter for deaf recovering addicts. Lauren Ridloff as Diana, teacher who helps Ruben learn American Sign Language. And Matthew Almeric as Richard Berger, Lou's father. Well, it's getting good reviews. Rotten Tomatoes, it's got a 97% approval rating. That's based on 262 critics, and it's got an overall rating of 8.2 out of 10, which isn't too shabby, is it? That's 254 fresh and 8 rotten reviews. So there are some people who didn't like it, but not many. The audience, they pretty much agree. A 90% positivity score from the audience as well. And a little consensus that they put together by the critics, an evocative look at the experiences of the deaf community. Sound of Metal is brought to life by Riz Ahmed's passionate performance. A Metacritic's 82 out of 100. So again, the other critics site we'll look at, 82 out of 100 based on 36 critics. It scores anywhere, the lowest scores 7.5, so that's not too bad, and it scores as high as 9.1. San Francisco Chronicle, they scored it 7.5 and said about it: while Sound of Metal doesn't venture to unexpected places, director Darius Marder, working from a script based on a story by Blue Valentine director Derek Clanfrance, keeps it all rooted in a heartfelt reality. Film Threats Alex Saviliev gave it 9 out of 10. He did like it. Here's a film so quietly visceral it can sear through metal. Quietly being the key word. Don't come in expecting a no-holds-barred assault on the senses, nor is this a metal music extravaganza. The bulk of the film is silent, deliberate. We are thrust inside Ruben's mind to hear what he hears. A pulsating, muted nothing, which is then jarringly contrasted with everyday sounds when we're yanked back out of his head. The sound mixing and editing are nothing short of phenomenal in Sound of Metal. Audience, yeah, not quite. I mean, still high, but not quite as high perhaps as the Rotten Tomatoes audience, but it was a 7.9, so again, a healthy score. And finally, on to Internet Movie Database, Joe Public, you and me, what are we thinking of it? Well, there's a lot of reviews. As I said, it's not a new film by any means. It's been available for a while now. 75,578 scores and reviews left as I'm recording this on the 3rd of May 2021. And it's got an Internet Movie Database average score of 7.8 out of 10. So certainly up there with some of the better scores for films. And based on that many reviews, it's not really going to change much over time now. That's based on that sort of score rate. Some of the headlines, not everyone liked it. A couple of the downers. A long, depressing process. Someone else said it was a snooze fest. A bit mean, but obviously we're talking a serious subject, and sometimes people perhaps give something a bit more credit than perhaps it deserves because of the subject's concern. So obviously perhaps are being a little bit, trying to be honest, but being a little bit unfair, I think. Someone gave it a mixed review. Cocoa Butter on the 30th of April 2021. He gave it 6 out of 10 and wrote, on par with an after school special. He went on to say, to explain his comment, this movie was like a really good ABC after school special. You remember those films that featured a theme like Say No to Drugs, but even that particular special where the girl high on PCP jumps out the second story window of her high school English class was better than this movie. Sound of Music is not a transcendent or enlightening. It was essentially a remake of Helen Keller, but not as good. Well, it's not Sound of Music, is it? But there you go. You know what I mean. The switching back and forth between hearing and silence was cool, but not very grippy, much like the plot, which was thin. So there you go. So that was a negative, but most of the public, as you can expect with that score, are quite positive about this. Some of the headlines, some of the more positive headlines, worthy of the hype, no question. Someone else, a unique story that stands out and leaves you feeling astounded. And someone else, original confronting drama. And many more like that. I could have picked loads and loads of positives about this film. Right, Bernard, here we go. Yeah, I mean, as far as hard, as I said before, I wasn't overly in a rush to watch this. I was not really into hard rock, and I just got that impression that was what it was about, but it's not really. And obviously, any hard rock fans who are looking for loads of music, etc., will be quite disappointed with this. And there's a couple of reviews that did actually say they were disappointed because they thought it was going to be about hard rock music, etc., etc. But it's not really a story about the music. It's about deafness, really. It's about the effect on people, etc. I thought it was okay. I wouldn't rant and rave over it and say it was fantastic like some of the critics and most of the public. I mean, it is more a critics' film stroke award film, this. It's although Riz Ahmed does a good job, I didn't particularly like his character. A lot of people said he did a great job, and I appreciate he did all right, but I just didn't like. I like chemistry. Certainly these stories that are about people, I like a bit of chemistry. I didn't really like Riz Ahmed as such, and I didn't particularly like the character he was playing. So, and I sort of could empathise with how he ended up in his position and how he found himself, but I didn't really still, as I said, he didn't really impress me as an actor. The acting side was okay, don't get me wrong. It was just that he didn't really sort of pull at any heartstrings on me, or I felt any affinity with him, to be honest with you. Opposite to this, I did connect to Olivia Cooke, and how she obviously coped with this as well. I felt lots of empathy for her, as opposed to Riz. So there you go. Perhaps that's just me. I think she did a great job as well, and I do. It's really nice to see her in this. But as I say, she was the sort of one that kept me watching. I got a little bit, not annoyed, but a little bit. I just didn't like Riz Ahmed, to be honest with his character. Not Riz Ahmed, nothing personal, just the character he was playing, obviously, in this. There were elements within the film that touched me, involving Ruben, who is the character of he's playing, and the 2 hour runtime did sort of fly by as well, despite at times quite a slow pace and quite a slow story. It wasn't sometimes wasn't overly engaging, but it was good the way they did the sound effects, etc. That was quite interesting. It gave you a little bit of how you could get a feel for what it would be like being deaf, if you like. It'd be hard to do that, obviously, but give you a little feel, a little percentage of the feel of what it might feel like, and it's certainly quite powerful in that way. I'm glad I watched it as a movie directorial debut, as a full movie. It's not bad at all, and given the constraints of the budget and the timescale involved shooting this as well, I thought it wasn't a bad effort at all. But it is a story that hits home, and on a personal basis, obviously it looks at deafness, and you've got to appreciate it for that, and if that alone. But as I said, the story perhaps could have been a little bit better. But there were sort of documentary type of feel to it in parts as well. You thought you were watching a little bit of a documentary on especially when he gets to the school and all this sort of thing. I had that feel to it, but yeah, I wouldn't rave over it like a lot of the people have. It's not sort of something that I quite liked it, but I wouldn't. It's not something I would particularly watch again or highly recommend. But obviously, it is a very, very watchable film, as you can see by those scores. So I'm just going to give it my watchable score, which is a nice simple 6 out of 10, which is probably well down on everybody else, and my apologies for that. But as far as entertainment is what I wasn't watching a documentary. I wanted to be sort of entertained and informed, if you like, and it did sort of inform me. But as far as entertainment, I thought the story was a little bit weak at times, so I'll give it my rating of 6 out of 10 anyway. But yeah, good film, worth a watch anyway. So if you've not caught up with it yet, as you said, it's been out for a while, so it's on Amazon Prime at the moment if you're a member of there, or check your streaming site. But yeah, it's worth a watch. As I said, don't be put off by the title, as I was for a little while. So get along and watch it. Let me know what you think anyway. Anyway, thanks for watching. Whatever you're going to do this day, have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other. So we meet here again on the Film and TV channel, or perhaps have a flick across, have a look at my football channel, my Citizen channel. Whatever it is, all I ever ask you to do is please stay safe, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.